The Germanic tribes not in Scandinavia would be dominated by the Franks and the Catholic Church. By the 9th century, the Franks had expanded their lands into the east, into what we would now call Germany. The Papal States had now also changed the meaning of the title Emperor. Whereas before it was a mutual title of the holder of the Roman Empire, and the Pope simply giving the Emperor their blessing, now the title of Emperor was viewed as an honour from the Pope, and the Pope would give this title to whoever best suited them. How was the Papal States able to get away with this, and why had their influence grown so much? Well, mostly due to the constant threat of Islam that had been constantly trying to invade Europe for centuries, and were now skirmishing with the Franks in the west and the Greeks to the east. This gave the Europeans a sense of unity around Christianity, and in turn the Pope more influence over kings. At this point in time, the Pope was basically an unofficial president of Christendom. This also complicated Byzantium, as the Empress of the time was Empress Irene, but the Papal States, being patriarchal, did not grant her this honour, splitting the Byzantium Empire even further from Western Europe. Charlemagne, king of the Franks, was instead granted the honour of new Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. But the Papal States, not wanting to diminish their influence, refused to help reform the Frankish inheritance laws, and simply took back the title once the Emperor had died. When Charlemagne died, this split the Frankish kingdom up into three, and the Pope used this title as a way of controlling and influencing Western Europe. East and West Francia would grow apart over time, forming what we now know as Germany in the 10th century. Deutschland translates to Germanic lands, from the old Roman Germania. Germany then decided to reform the impractical inheritance laws into an elective monarchy, with the electoral votes being held by the most powerful dukes in Germany. Otto the Great, the East Frankish ruler, however, chose to ignore this electoral system, and instead chose to crown his son and heir apparent. This led to civil war, and even East Francia got involved, but Otto the Great came out on top. Later on, Otto the Great set his sights on the wealthy lands of Italy, but instead of attacking, he put a puppet on the throne. The Papal States helped to do this, and Otto the Great and the Pope put Berengar II on the throne of Italy. This political manoeuvring, however, didn't quite pay off, with Berengar II revolting against Otto the Great and the Papal States, going as far as to besiege Rome itself. Otto rushed down to defend the Pope, and forced Berengar to retreat. Here, Otto met with the Pope, and swore an oath to defend the Catholic Church against all her enemies. The Pope was pleased to say the least, and granted Otto the honour of becoming Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. However, the Papal States began to plot against Otto as soon as he left Rome, causing political battles behind the scenes between the Emperor, Otto, and the Pope. Otto again came out on top, causing the Pope to be ousted and getting the new Pope to crown his son as co-emperor. This also created the first official German dynasty, the Ottonian dynasty. This complicated the relationship with the Catholic Church and caused more political plots. And over time, the Dukes of Germany managed to reclaim their right to become electors and to elect their new king. This in effect destroyed the Ottonian dynasty in 1024. The Holy Roman Empire would fracture into tiny pieces, becoming consumed and weakened by politics and political manoeuvre. The amount of dukes with elector status would increase to ridiculous amounts, with many cities becoming semi-independent. Many bitter arguments would divide Germany against itself, as each elector bid for power, and the other powers of Europe and the Pope took advantage of them as needed. The Holy Roman Empire was basically a bunch of states with an overreaching, loose set of laws. However, this disunity was also a sort of strength, as it also allowed the Holy Roman Empire to survive centuries of civil wars, external disputes, and changing times. But it was never a reliable great power, and would at many times just become the chessboard of Europe. One of the electors, Prussia, would finally unify Germany in the 19th century through conquest, shifting the balance of power in Europe forever, with them being a great power in World War I, II, and in the modern day. It even had an extremely short-lived empire. And Germany, or Deutschland, is now the leading economic power in Europe. Be sure to check out my other channel, History Sticks, for the complete, longer and comprehensive video.